Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So, review time for the Acra Cota 110 scale drift car. 17 inches long. Not a bad size. 2.4 gigahertz. It has all left, all right steering. Proportional throttle. Very surprising. Very shocking. Reversible steering and throttle controls. And it sucks up 8 freaking batteries in this thing, which is disgusting. You don't need that in a toy grade machine. Now, when I first talked to you guys about this thing, it's like, no parts! I went to the website that was listed on the radio and sent an email to the company, who it led me to, and asked about parts. All I cared about was wheels and tires, right? And they had nothing on their main website, right? So he sent me the link to the old store, which turns out that link is also on their main website. I just wasn't paying attention. But anyways, who cares? So he sends me the link specific to this car for parts. Now they also have the manual there too, which I downloaded, and it's not the world's, well, it's kind of an okay manual, but it missed out on something which I'll talk to you about in a minute. But anyways, this car sells for like $100 and some normal, like US, and that's like ludicrous. And right now it's on sale on their site for $60 US, which is still a little ludicrous. I think it's way too much money for this car, even for something like this, of this caliber. It is a good quality toy grade machine, but it's still not worth $70, $60 US, not in my opinion anyway. And we all have our own opinions, and that's fine. Now, it does come with a 12 volt battery, normally. The gentleman I got this from gave me a second battery with it. And I don't know if he even bought it brand new himself, I have no idea. But what he told me he paid for it, I just couldn't believe it. It was just so crazy, you know, and it's like, no. Because I've seen these things sell for like $100, $120 tops in Canada, you know, and, but turns out they're now selling for a lot more money, which is crazy, and that's in the US, you know, so, plus shipping, which is crazy, and then, of course, duty and stuff, right? So anyways, yeah, I'd never pay that kind of money, and I'd never pay $60 US for this either. Now, though it does have a nice Lexan shell, it is a nice beginner drifter if you want that taste of drifting before you decide to go plunge into a $500 drift car or even a $300 drift car. HSP has a really nice drifter racer. Like, all their cars are actually classified as race cars, drift cars, because you can do either or with them. But they're brushless systems. I mean, for under $300 delivered to your door in Canada, you can get a really kick-ass HSP drift car slash race car, okay? And they go pretty damn fast, and they're full hobby grade. This is still full toy grade in my opinion, because for me to actually say something is entry-level hobby grade, it better have every single part replaceable, okay? Every single part, and then I would say that this would be a good, you know, beginner entry level, but it's a toy grade machine. Now, the parts that are available are not a lot of parts, okay? Some of the parts you'll probably never ever break, which is kind of usually the way things get listed when somebody does supply parts. At least they do have some parts though. Hey, let's face it, Newbright doesn't give you anything. Okay, and neither do a lot of other toy grade companies. And those toys are way overpriced and junk. The only thing good about Newbright, of course, is their body shells. We like those on our scale RCs, on our hobby grade stuff. Okay, but this thing, it's a Lexan shell, which is nice. This shell could probably be adapted to a lot of different cars, providing, you know, you're within that 17 inches and the wheel base too. And if you're curious about wheelbase, just for giggles here, our wheelbase is about roughly 10 inches, okay? Now, this is a real funny bird, this one. It's got like your basic hobby grade nuts on the front and hex hub adapters, and on the back it's a built-in hex hub adapter to the axle. Well, basically I guess a really good stiff pushed on nylon thing, I don't know, and it's got screws in the back, but you can use any of your regular 12mm hex wheels all the way around, no problem. It's 12mm hexes, and I've had these wheels on this car already to run it as a street car, and of course it is not very fast or fun at all. As a drifter, it's a hoot. Battery is 800 milliamp 12 volt. You get about 12 to 15 minutes tops out of that. Your first 10 to 12 minutes is actually pretty decent for drifting, and then the battery just goes bleh. Okay, and being NiCad, it's going to hold a memory, be aware of that. over time, and it's going to really suck. So you're going to have to basically put the car upside down, pull the trigger, and hold it there until the damn thing shuts off on its own. Then you know the battery's dead. Let it cool for half an hour, then recharge it. It's the only way to kill the memory when it does happen in NiCads and Nimpaks and a lot of other batteries too. So anyway, but that's just a little bit. Has rear suspension, has no front suspension. Has headlights that are on all the time, which I still got to change the angles to beam it through here where it belongs. It's kind of a really finicky setup. Tail lights only go on when you're in reverse. It does have underglow though, which is kind of cool. So I'll pop a battery in here for you. Yeah, get out. And every wheel has a red LED. Now those I'm going to switch out because they're just not bright enough. I want brighter. Okay, let's just put the car here. Let's kill the lights and you can see what this thing looks like in the darkness. Actually looks pretty cool with the way the lights are. I like the blinkers on the underglow. So, voila. And like I said, the headlights, they're like right here, and they should be, you know, further over to where the actual headlights are. I'll get that straightened out eventually. Like anything else, you got a little bit of tweaking to do here and there. Okay, there's our steering system here. All left or all right? That's what you get, right, left. You can't just turn a little bit. It goes all the way over. So, good torque, good wheel speed for drifting. But, like I said, lousy for street tires. I do have a video of this thing running with street tires, so you can check it out. Now, you're not going to fit a 3-cell battery in here either. Unless you can find a real damn skinny one. And, yeah, you'll gain some punch, which is true. But with that punch, you're also going to cook everything inside, including the motors. Because they're not going to handle that punch. They're just cheap little $3 motors, which they sell for a lot more money on their website if you need one. So, their prices are real high. Like replacement drift tires that just push over these rims, they want like $350 per tire. I'm like, not going to happen. AliExpress, kick-ass rims, pre-mounted tires with about a centimeter almost of tread for drifting with. Yeah, for $23 Canadian, free shipping, okay? I'm going to end up spending with just tires here, $14 US, which is pretty close to $20 Canadian, plus shipping, just to get replacement drift rings, which are only a millimeter thick. So, thinking, practical? Let's go to AliExpress, and I get cooler rims too. So yeah, so I decided I'm not going to buy any parts from this company at all, you know, and I'm not worried about, you know, busting anything under the chassis or the bumper or anything, because this is going to be a drift car, you know. It's not something you're jumping off ramps and stuff, you know, so it should be fine. Now I downloaded the manual too and checked it out, right, and because I didn't get one with it. There's a switch on the back of the transmission here on the rear end that doesn't seem to do anything. I've checked like with wheel speed to see if it made a difference. It made none. You know, like absolutely zero difference. So I don't even know what the hell the switch really does, but, you know, whatever. And the manual doesn't cover the switch. So that's like, that sucks. So, yeah. Now, as far as the drivetrain goes, you've got your front diff is completely locked, and your rear is a split diff. Okay? And you can see under here, give you a close-up, you can see that where the LEDs are. You got to kind of like angle these posts yourself, you know, and the headlights, well, they're more of a pain in the neck. I got to figure out how to do that, because right now they're pointing basically straight ahead this way, and I got to get them to point out this way. So I may do some fancy rewiring on this thing. I did have to rewire, well, resolder anyways, the wire for the underglow, because it wasn't working when I got it. But otherwise the car's in great shape, no body damage or anything, and, you know, so that's kind of cool. To be honest, what I think this car should actually sell for brand new would be probably no more than $40 Canadian tops. Okay, that's my opinion. okay? But that's what I think the car is actually realistically worth, you know. And at least the company, yes, they do have some parts, it turns out, you know, and you have to go through their website that's listed on the radio. Now I'll put a link for the main website and a link directly to the parts page for this exact car. Especially if you're watching this video and you have this car and you're not sure where to even get parts from. I mean, hey, go to the website, but I'll give you the link anyways for the main site, like I said. Now the other link that I'm going to give you for the parts, that's from their old website, okay, or their old store. They're transitioning stuff over to a whole new website and stuff. And so you buy from the old store for the parts for the cars right now, because right now there's no parts listed for any of their stuff on the new store. That's all in the old store right now. So they told me they're transitioning stuff over, and that's still going to take a while. So I was like, great, at least we can get parts, so that's a good sign. But I wasn't happy with the price of the parts, you know, especially when you're talking American dollars here. Because that's just way too much money when it comes to Canadian. So I can get way cheaper, better stuff for this thing right from AliExpress and pay Canadian dollars and free shipping, so, and no duty. So, but that's just the way the ball bounces. However, if you want to get into the drift world of RC, you don't have much money to put out, or you're not sure if you're even going to like it, buy this thing, okay? Get the experience. I'm sure even I'll learn to drift better with this, but I've had expensive drift cars, okay, and I got rid of them, like, for various reasons. But I ended up, in the end, I got rid of them. I never did nothing with them, but now I'm in a different mindset now, and I kind of kick myself in the ass for getting rid of them now, but that's the way things go. But I got this one. And honestly, it was an accident that I even got this thing. I mean, I first looked at it, and I was kind of like, my kid had one of these things. And the guy was asking like $60 or best offer, and it's like, I'm not paying 60, and, you know, he said he'd take 40, and I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. You know, and let's try a trade deal, because I love bartering, I love trading. So, I couldn't find anything that he wanted to trade at the time, so we left it alone. And then I started going after a set of these F1 race cars. And I thought the F1 race car guy was the guy who emailed me back when I said, hey, I got a pellet gun I'd trade you. You know, and he's, oh yeah, I'll trade you for, what is it? It's a rifle, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll trade. And then I started looking at the emails, because we were like back and forth all night, eh? And it's kind of like boom, 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 boom. And so anyway, I finally noticed, wait a minute, this is the guy for the drift car. This isn't the guy for the F1, you know? And I'm like, oh well, what the hell? Let's try the thing out. I'll do the deal. I'm good, you know? And I mean, that gun is just sitting on the shelf anyways doing nothing, so, you know, I don't need the pellet gun. And I got another one here anyway, if I do want one. Or I can go out and buy another pellet gun if I want one bad enough. But, so I did the deal, and to me it was a good deal. I mean, I got two 12-volt batteries with it, which was great, you know, because that's what it's, you know, it only comes with one normally. But it is 2.4 gigahertz, so that was cool. And is the identical car to the one that my son had. I still have the body shell up on my wall that he custom painted. I don't know what we ever did with the fin and the mirrors. I think maybe he still has them. I should actually ask him. But anyhow, now at least I know how this thing runs, because we couldn't get his running, and he didn't really have the money to put out for the parts for his. Now, as far as I know, they're the same brand, from what I recall, but at the time we had no problem finding parts, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, I can't even find nothing on Google for this. So I had to go off the address on the remote. And so anyways, that's the story behind how I got this. It was by pure accident, but, you know, I'm kind of happy I did the deal, because now I know how it drives. It is actually a fun little drifter car. I'm sure I'll learn how to drift with it, you know, because it does have the handicap of no proportional steering. But I'm getting into race cars this year anyways, and, you know, but for speed racing, but I can also do drifting. So I'm going to buy a car specific for drifting only, and then of course I'm going to buy my race cars. Okay, and that's just some of the plans I have that in my head that I want to do. It's just whether or not I'll be able to financially do it, I don't know yet. We'll just have to see how the months progress. But you know, this thing is still, it's another machine, and I couldn't even find anything on YouTube on this thing. You know, I looked it up on YouTube, couldn't find squat, you know. And it's like, wow, this is not looking favorable. Because hey, usually if it's not on YouTube, there's something wrong, right? But now it's on YouTube, because this will be video number 4. And it won't be the last of the videos. There will be more videos as I get better at drifting with it on different surfaces and learning more about it. And I get some better drift tires too, because that's definitely a must. And I think some really good quality drift tires would actually make a huge difference in this car. But it'll never see street rubber again, because man, this thing's so slow and boring. You know, it's crazy. So, but as a drifter, it is a hoot. So. But anyways, guys, 3.5 out of 5. That's where I'm going to put this one. But, you know, like I said, you can, turns out, get parts. The links will be in the description of the video, so look there for the links. If you want to buy this car, you know, brand new, or you've, you know, bought one and need parts, just be aware there's a very limited amount of parts that they do supply for it. Even the manual. I checked the manual against their website, and every single part they show on their website is every single part shown in the manual. So, and there's not a lot. So, and some of those parts you'll probably never, ever need, you know. But in the event you break your radio, you can get one. New speed controller board inside, you can get one. Motors, you can get. Some of the gears, you can definitely get, if not all of them. But I still don't know what that little shifter thing is on the back, and it doesn't seem to do anything, so who knows. But that's pretty much it for this one. Sorry to keep you guys here so long, but you know, reviews are never really that short with me. But hey, at least it's under 40 minutes this time, right? That's a bonus. So we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Happy YouTubing, happy RCing if you're an RC freak like me. And hey, stay tuned for more, and we'll catch you on the next one.